Welcome everybody to the first Daytona event, round one, the 2.4 hours. This is also my first time doing this event for this community, so pretty interesting. We got 3 classes, 5, 5, and 8. That's 5 GTP, 5 LMP, and 8 GTD. As of right now, we're on our pace lap, and we're waiting for the green. So let's enjoy these next 2 hours together. And, yeah. So far, we've seen the Mercedes GTP getting pole. For the LMPs, we have Corey and for the GTDs, I believe there was a 296 of so sit tight, get your snacks, anything you need. Starting very short. Alright, let's get ready to go. Coming around turn 3 of the NASCAR banking. Also, well, for this track it would be turn 12. Coming into turn 13. Fortune leading the pack. And he will be starting this race. Alright, we are forming up. Let's get ready to go racing in Daytona. Alright, and we are green starting in Daytona. Fortune keeping that lead. Grez just beside him coming to turn 1. Chesko staying up. Cutting into that inside line, not being able to get it. Fortune staying right there. Still in the front. Oh, we have a little bit of contact with the Porsche and the other Porsche. The Cadillac winning through this LMP. Huge contact, caution. 3 cars in the mix. GT's getting by. Corey, little man, and West Side hugely affected by this. Stuck back in the GT field. What happened? I wish there was replays. I wish I could have saw what happened there. That's actually a majority of the LMP field as well. That's 3 cars. Luckily, there's no damage in this with this tech, but still, that really shows what there is to come in this event. So there has been full course yellow thrown out. Fortune still keeping that lead. Pro Tool leads the LMPs. Dale just up behind him. Blake leading the GTs. Napa Boy just behind him in that Corvette Agent as well. Majority Corvette field, I believe, in the GTs here. I wonder if they're gonna allow the fields to bunch back up together again, because now the LMPs are so spread apart. There's gonna be so much traffic coming back on the restart here. I guess we'll see. All right, well, we're exiting out of turn 9 here, coming on the back stretch. Officials putting out a notice there. Didn't quite catch it. A little bit of shiftiness going on in the field here. Into the Le Mans chicane we go. Let's go on board with Fortune. So we can lead this pack once again. R15 in third, the only BMW of his constructor. All alone here. He actually had a lucky shot qualifying. Towards the end, he did get himself positioned more higher in the field, which allowed him to prevent getting knocked out. Oh, green flag. We are restarting coming off of turn 4. The NASCAR turn. All right. Fortune, strong lead. Pretty big gap from Blackstone Cadillac. Not much going on here. The two Porsches may battle it out with Chesko. Oh, what just happened? A little bit of a rough fighting there between the BMW and the Porsche. LMP is cutting through. All bunched up together again. A little bit of grass cutting back there by the GTs I saw. We have Pro Tool leading, Blake leading, and Fortune leading all the respective classes. Really tight gaps. LMP's practically going side by side back there. Really tight fighting. I see two Corvettes fighting for the lead back there. I believe that is Blake and Napa Boy. Really going at it. Exiting the dogleg here. LMP's almost going 3 wide. Alright, here we are exiting into the oval. Now this is where cars get a lot of speed because the draft opens so many opportunities. For example, let's see here. A little bit of contact with the wall. Corey hitting Pro Tool, but taking the lead. Really nice change there. Let's check up on Blake. Blake still maintained that lead. Napa has actually fallen back quite a bit. Now he's fighting the other Corvette. There's quite a few here, you can tell. The Corvette of Agent coming into turn 9 here. Into the backstretch we go. Let's check back up on our passing opportunity here between Agent and Napa Boy. Into the chicane we go. Napa Boy maintains that lead. Napa actually getting a huge run up to Blake. Let's see if he can make a pass here. This is what I was saying. Huge passing opportunity here on the oval because of how much draft you get. Because realistically, you're kind of just going more or less in a straight line, really. You just gotta stick with the guy that's in front of you, and you should be just fine. Going side by side here to the start finish. He passes Blake for the lead of GT into turn 1. Let's see, can Blake dive in the inside? No, he doesn't. He stays on that outside. Oh, huge dive by that Ferrari back there. Robloxy and cutting the dirt there. Into turn 2 we go. Up to the International Horseshoe. And LMP falling a bit behind. I think something happened. Unless the GT field is really just that quick. Looks like the hypers are pretty dispersed. I think one of the hypers... Oh, we have a caution. A caution for what? Let's check up on the hyper field. We are missing a hyper. I wonder if it's related to that. Let's check up on the LMP field, see if anything happened with them. All cars more or less just here. Pro Tool still in second. Corey actually has a stronger lead. Really big gap from the rest of the field there. Dale pretty far back. Carter DNF. I believe Carter, I wrote this down because I want to make sure I can get all this information. Carter was a GTD, a Porsche. Maybe he crashed? Alright, this just means the field gets a... Oh! Contact between Westside and Pro Tool. He goes spinning around. Westside somewhere along the backstretch here. He rejoins within the GT field. That must have done an impact on his tires, spinning around like that. No major changes in the hyper field. Pro Tool looking for a rejoin here into the LMP pack. This is already our second caution of the race, and we're just barely in. Like I said before, I wonder how the rest of this race is going to go, because if there's this many cautions at this rate, we might just see constant bunch-ups, and, well, gladly not much of a huge spreading up of the field, you know. I think he might be getting, I think that was just a race incident more so than an actual penalty that you can achieve. Still yellow, crossing the line, the Mercedes and the Cadillac. A little fidgety up there. In my opinion, it does take a lot of, it can be a lot of pressure leading the pack, especially as a class leader, because you have all this pressure on you. Number one, you got to get ready to go. You're already leading a pack, first of all. That's already enough. And the fact that you're leading a whole train, the fact that they're leading you, and you can make such an easy mistake, and then a huge pileup happens, it's just a lot. So, and personally, I never liked leading packs myself. If anything, in these kind of scenarios, you either want to prefer to be in a more, oh, okay, I guess we'll be going soon. Everybody warming up the tires, we're ready to go. Let's check up on Fortune, so we can watch this restart. Coming up soon, and we go to the West Horseshoe. Now we'll be falling down into turn 6. But like I was saying, in a restart scenario, realistically, you want to be in a more... Now, I know this might sound a little weird, but you want to be in a scenario where it's a bit more open. You want someone's draft, but on a restart, you can have so much draft to the point where you'll just ram the guy in front of you, and there'll be no space to move. So that's why restarts, you gotta be super careful. And it looks like some of these guys know what they're doing in that scenario. Like I've seen they don't really tend to hit each other on these restarts, which is really good. They use the draft effectively, and they know when to pull off from a little engagement, which is a really good thing to see. A bit of a spread up here between the leading LMPs, KRE and Pro Tool, the two leaders, from the rest, which is led by Dale, coming to the backstretch here. Now, in my opinion, I think the chicane here is it's a little complex. If you don't know your braking point, it can get really, really weird. Because it's probably in my opinion, I would say it's the toughest part of the track. Because you got to time this all perfectly. Got to hope you don't get a corner cut. And sometimes you'll be fighting other people too. And you really got to hope to everything. That number one, you're not destroying your tires. Number two, you hope you don't spin. Number three, you're not going off track. So there's just so many things put together that you got to worry about. But once you get the hang of it, it's pretty fun. Alright, wrapping around turn 12 here into turn 13 we go, green flag. Fortune once again getting a huge gap from the rest of the hyperfield. Let's check up on Corey. Corey, also a huge gap from the rest of the LMP field. All the LMPs are caught up. Both Corvettes back there fighting for the lead. Let's go check up on Napa Boy. Side by side, coming to the start finish here with Blake and Napa. Here we go, a little bit of lag insert, but that's fine. Blake pushing through. Can he keep that inside line coming to turn 1? He goes really wide, but he still keeps that lead. No one was able to take that opportunity to pass him. Napa falling back to Agent. That Porsche and that Ferrari are really fighting back there. Really trying to get past Robloxian. Let's check back up on Fortune. Fortune, massive gap from the rest of the field. Way more than before. This is kind of becoming a consistent thing we see with Fortune. As soon as these restarts go, he's really good on those restarts. And, well, usually the leader can control the restarts, so some people may not have the same reaction time. So he just boosts it off. But I guess we'll see in the coming laps if anybody's able to catch up. Checking up on Corey. Corey's gap is kind of getting cut down a little bit. We got Pro Tool and Little Man were working together, pushing, seeing if they could get that draft. And I would say in the next few laps, if they keep this up and they work together, they can probably get a pass here or catch up to Corey and start that fight for P1. Let's check back up on Napa Boy. Blake in the lead there. Blake still a decent amount forward, but not much going on here. Let's check up on Robloxy, and it looks like that other 296 of Heg trying to push through, coming off the chicane here. Agent, I think he had a corner cut there. Massive slowdown by him. We see Fortune's gap is 2 seconds from the rest of the field. Going too wide, double stack here with the Porsche and the Ferraris and the Corvette. All merging into a single line. Heg makes it through. Bloxian just behind. The Porsche is coming into the pits. I think another person's in the pits. I think that is a Cadillac. As Black that has pitted. He's exiting now. Let's check up on that Porsche in a sec. Well, the Porsche is going to pit, so. Little Man. I think he's actually got ahead of Pro Tool. Still working together to get ahead. Nice work coming off of the horseshoe here. This turn is also something to worry about because you can go really wide in a battle and then it's really low, like this. Like that's when you can go really wide. But Pro Tool also making a mistake there, going really into that corner, basically cutting the cones. Little Man drafting up a Pro Tool as Pro Tool did get that pass on him. Can he do anything effective? So, oh, the cameras here. Into the chicane we go. Oh, wide exit here. Hitting those curbs. Hitting those curbs can be very effective. Yeah, look, I even lost him some time. West side taking advantage of that. Trying to catch up. Trying to see if he can leapfrog his way back up the field. Let's check up back on Fortune. Oh my, huge gap. I think Black is now being lapped. That's how far back he is. Oh no, he's made it past some LMPs. I think he's still lapped by his own field though. Or maybe the leaderboard is a little iffy. Let's check up on our GTDs again. Blake still maintaining a pretty good lead ahead. Napa not too far behind. Okay, apparently according to race control, Black had a problem with his car, so he had to switch. So he's still in his Cadillac, just a more blue one. Blake pretty early on the break there, like Napa, who is now really catching up to him. Side by side, Napa takes the lead. Pretty open draft there, Blake left. Napa now ahead for the lead of GTD. Really wide there. Blake's going to take a huge chance. That is a huge opportunity to just pass right through. Oh, we can see their top speeds now. Okay, maybe I lied. Alright, Blake keeping that lead. Let's check up on Fortune once again. Is anyone going to be able to close that gap? Oh my, he's extended it 5 seconds. Let's check up on Chesko. Let's see if there's any fighting in the GTP field. Chesko really trying to draft off Black here. Black still trying to make his way up past Rez. Now, something about that horseshoe right there, the international horseshoe. Now, with these cars, if you see it again, we'll cut back to the GTs in just a second. You can see coming into that turn, they practically stop. That the horseshoe itself is really odd, and it slows the cars down so much. So on that turn, you got to be really easy with the gas, because you want to be able to execute that turn, but at the same time you want to be able to make it. So it leads to this weird result where you're going so slow. So it really takes some expertise to execute that corner just right. Seems that Corvette and the 296 back there between Agent and Heg still fighting. As you can see right here, this is what I mean. We'll check them on Heg. We'll see how a battle looks like through that. Now see, this is what I'm trying to get at. You want a perfect braking point and a perfect gas press. Let's check up on the LMP field. Corey getting a stronger lead than before. Lol, man. No one around him now. It's only Corey and him. I wonder what happened to his partner Pro Tool. I think he might have pitted or an incident happened. He is quite far behind. Either it was a quick pit stop or he just messed up a little bit on some turns. Up to Fortune once again. GTP's finally starting to lap the GTD class. Now with this, we can finally start to see a few new problems. Now, GTP drivers are expected to be the best, have the best pace and all that. But at the same time, you also need to be the best at being responsible in traffic. Because in multi-class racing, it's more about racing together, and you're not trying to battle these other classes. You're just simply trying to do your own races. That's all you're really trying to do. Mind your own class. And the higher the class that goes... Oh, we have someone that spun around coming into the chicane here. Is that a GT? I think that was Robloxian, or one of the Ferraris. They're quite far behind. Fortune is going to really catch up here. Now this is where we see them passing. Oh, bit of contact with the leader. Heg hitting Fortune a little bit. This is what I mean. Now at the same time, well, you got to be responsible for passing this the traffic responsibly. Other classes still also gotta be respectful and not jit around so much, as we just saw there with Robloxian hitting Fortune up into the wall. Into turn 1 and 2 we go. Not many fights happening between those two, between many classes. We do see little ones happening. For example, Robloxian and Heg fighting for 13th. Overall, so that's 4th in the class. Grez getting a track limit warning. Now, this is what's going to happen with a lot of the class, because you got to be careful. This is also the rest of the class. As you can see, that gap is so large from Fortune. You can see now the other GTPs are finally catching up to the GTD class. Also, we'll also see some other problems with the multi-class passing here. GTDs, from experience myself, will feel pressure of these other classes and not want to ruin each other's races, and worrying about it so much to the fact where it will happen. You will ruin other person's race if you continue to think that way. So the best way for these these lower classes, because you don't want to ruin these people's races. You think faster class, easier to ruin. So you just want to be really careful. At the same time, don't ruin your race and don't ruin your fun as well. Don't be under constant fear. You want to have a cool head, and you just want to focus about your class while just keeping a mindful... oh, we're blocking a little bit of a spin. Wheel spin there coming off the chicane. One a little bit wide as well. Head going to take a bigger gap from that due to what just happened. Let's check up on Corey. Has anybody caught up on him? No, actually bigger gap than before, I believe. Still some GTPs passing some GTVs. I believe that's Fortune. Yes, I was correct. Fortune so far up, he is practically coming into the West Horseshoe, while the rest of the GTP is still stuck on the International Horseshoe. Chesko getting a track limit warning there. Let's check up on... Let's see if there's anything happening within the LMP field, because I feel like I've neglected the class a little bit. So let's see if there's anything we can find in here. Realistically, there is points in endurance racing where people have to realize you will get to a part of the race where there's just not much to do. You won't be near anybody. You won't see many people in your class, and you kind of just have to race it out. Typically, class differentials break down towards the end of the race, where people actually start to rejoin a bit more, which is kind of surprising. But this is what I meant about the worrying, by the way. GTD's worrying they'll ruin the other class's race, and he went so wide there, practically going into the grass just to let this LMP by. So it's really just a work of both classes. You gotta make sure these faster classes know how to pass correctly, at the same time making sure these slower classes understand that they can just continue racing and just leave a little gap open when there's an opportunity. For example, on the oval itself, the faster classes do have to pass on the right. I believe there's a little booklet or a announcement about this. You have to pass on the right, while the slower class will stay on the left. So we have seen that being exercised, like we saw earlier with Fortune passing those Ferraris coming off of turn 3 for NASCAR turn. Successful exit there on the chicane by Little Man. Check up on Fortune once again. 17-second gap. It just gets more and more. You'd expect to break down a little bit more with the rest of the GTP field. Running a little bit wide there, Fortune. The rest of the GTP field would have had buddies to work with for drafting, but I guess not working too well. But I guess we'll see in the future how these pit stops work, and maybe he might lose some time depending on how he times these. Let's check up on... oh my. Gap and LMPs are getting quite large here. Let's check up on Dale. Not too far behind, but this is what I meant. You can see such a large gap between classes here. This is that point of the race, so Dale running pretty wide coming into turn 1. Now, as the race continues, you will start to do less mistakes. Some people believe fatigue will get you, but realistically, you just build a consistency, and you just get better and better at the track. So earlier on, you might see few more mistakes. People might not know their proper pitting plan, so tires will get worse, fuel will get really low. But as the race goes on, everyone builds this mindset of how to race. This track and how to use it effectively. Let's check up on Chesko. I think there's a bit of a fight going on between the caddy and him. Yes, there is. I believe these are the closest two cars together in the field so far. Chesko keeping up with Black. Let's see if he can use that draft at all. We're officially entering the sunset phase. Oh my, running really into that grass there, cutting really wide. into the West Horseshoe go. He might have just had a better entry into that than Black did, but... Oh my, Black cutting the grass, hitting the wall, coming off the horseshoe here. I'm sorry, dogleg. I wonder if his car is alright. I don't think we'll get a yellow for that. I think he drove off just fine. Oh, he's running into the... down here. The car's practically stopped, but no, he continues. Running along the wall here a bit. I wonder if that was a lag issue, or if he just had a little incident coming to the grass there. Let's check up on Robloxian. I'm aware Robloxian and Heg were fighting. Heg is up front now, it seems, of Robloxian. Pretty decent gap here. Fortune about to lap LMPs. He's finally got to that stage of the race where you're now starting to lap the more considered faster class. I guess we'll see what happens here, because there's LMPs and a GTD right now. This is quite a bit of traffic for a lone GTP to pass. Gotta make sure you leave some space, gotta make sure you're not too aggressive. GTD practically stopping to let that LMP by. This just keeps on confirming my statements from earlier. Fortune flickering his lights at Pro Tool to let him know he's passing. Out of the dogleg to go. Following Fortune into NASCAR Turn 1. Passing on the left side. A bit more rare, but realistically, if you get by, you get by. That's all it is. Yes, there was an exercise to pass on the top, but usually in a more tough turn like this, you might as it can really go both ways. Usually on the turns, though, you let the class. Actually, I'm sorry. As far as I'm aware, it's actually go higher. Slower class goes higher, then you pass on the bottom. Got that a little mixed up with a my brain there. Little man getting a warning. Don't think he was using his headlights. I think headlights are now required at this time of day. I think race control just informed everybody. I guess we'll see how the night stints go. Hopefully everyone's careful on those. Let's check back up on Chesko to see if there's any fighting going on for P2 here. Oh, that's right. Black still having a bit of problems. I think he maybe had a bit of an issue exiting the chicane there. Chesko, where are you? Chesko coming into the International Horseshoe. Catching up to Rexy. Seeing a lot of Rexy passes going on here. Jada at the rear of the grid. Jada really going wide once again. I just find it a little unfortunate that some of these cars lead have to go to such extent to let these classes by. See that speed differential coming up a little bit wide here. Rexy running a bit more wide, if anything. Check on Fortune. I believe he's the one passing. Yes, that's good. Above peg. Clean pass. Catching up to an LMP West Side, who we've seen earlier in the race had a little bit of an incident coming to the chicane. Once again, I want to reinforce my statement about that chicane. As we've seen so far, the most problems we've seen is from the chicane itself. The Le Mans chicane is a very worrying turn that people need to be cautious about. Because it's so easy to lose control. Even if you have memorized this track, you still gotta pay attention to that, especially passing as well. Fortune, good exit there. West side, So for a clean pass here. Pass will come probably on the exit of the dog leg. Coming to turn 6 here. Pass. On the outside. Successful. Nothing bad. This is what we like to see. Grez speeding violation. I think he's in the pits. Yes, he is. Grez. A lot of people pitting. A lot of people also getting violations for speeding in the pit lane. People need to be a bit more cautious when they're entering and exiting the pit lane, as it is one of the most easiest places to get warnings and penalties simply by speeding, because you're just not exactly aware of how fast you're going. Checking back up on Fortune, exiting turn 4 of NASCAR. Some passing going on the LMP field, I believe. Corey maintained that strong lead. We have Grez finally exiting the pits. He's going to be alongside Napa Boy. Let's hope nothing funky happens up in here. Grez flickering his lights to make sure Napa Boy is aware. Napa Boy practically stopping in Grez's face there. Grez making that pass though. I have to say, I really like these onboards. Very nice work by whoever worked on them. And sound design as well. I'd also like to give a props to whoever worked on the sound. Especially the curve sound effect, that's awesome. Fortune pitting with alongside Chesko and 2 GTs, which is Blake and I believe that is Pro Tool. So if any GTPs are fast enough, if anybody, that could be Grez, still in the backstretch here, that's going to be quite a bit of time to reach. Now Fortune is leaving. We got some passing going on here. The trifecta, we got the GTP, LMP, and GT all together in one little pack here. Now in this scenario, you see a lot of passing. You could practically go 3 wide if anything here. And we might see that be exercised. Lil Man, I believe he's received another speeding violation. Am I wrong for that? Corey entering the pits, leader of LMP. Fortune still maintain that lead, 24-second gap. Chesko. Oh, Grez, huge hit on the pit barrier there. Robloxian getting by. Grez and Chesko will be fighting within their class, both having a double pass there on Haig, approaching Robloxian. This is where we might see a bit of stress be built up on the GTD ahead, because that GTD might feel that it really needs to get out of the way now if there's 2 hypercars practice fighting right behind it. Both flashing, passing on the inside, fair pass, really good work from both cars. I think Grez is actually fighting to not get lapped here. Overall, it's still fighting either way. Grez still ahead. Chesko just up behind. Grez running wide and Chesko practically hitting there. We are now entering the night part of the race. 125 minutes officially in. Yeah. Fortune, 24 seconds still ahead. Chesko, Grez, and Black in order. Westside led LMP for a short while and is now pitting now alongside Dale. Napa exiting pits as well. Fortune will be just up ahead. Let's check up on Westside's pit. It's going to be there for, and he's exiting now. Will Corey be able to get there? No, Corey will not get there in time. I wonder if he did something, or if there's just an awkward time frame where he was pitting and Grez Westside just had a perfect opportunity to get a huge gap on him. But Corey will not be seeing. Oh, Corey getting a bit of a corner cut there. Corey will not be seeing a huge advantage because of that now. We'll be checking back up on the GTD field. Napa, even pitting, still ahead of the rest of his class. Agent just behind. The leaderboard might be outdated, but I believe Blake might be in, Agent will be in second here. Let's check back up on Fortune. No one ahead of him, I believe. Yeah, he's pretty alone back here on the backstretch alone. Chesko, West Side, fighting a little bit in the different classes. Let's check up on Lil Man. Heg. Fighting Robloxian once again. These two are more of a dynamic duo I've seen in the fighting so far. They have become very consistent in fighting. The only two Ferraris, I believe, in the entire GTD class fighting one another for the 4th position in the GTD class. Current leaders so far. Oh, Corey gets in front. I wonder what happened. I guess the leaderboard might have been a little bit outdated. Back down to GTD. I think West Side and is that no? That's Pro Tool. Is Pro Tool going to be right behind him? Yeah, Pro Tool is in fact going to be behind him. All right, we have an LMP fight here for P2. Let's see how this goes. West Side a little late on the braking there. Pro Tool can take big advantage of that, including the draft. Not to mention, Grez getting a warning for avoidable contact. Grez has been a little bit fidgety, as we've seen before. I guess he has finally had a result that wasn't exactly what he expected, and has resulted in a more major contact, maybe. West Side getting a little bit of a more gap from Pro Tool here. Let's get an onboard with Pro Tool as we watch this fight. Here he is. Oh, Pro Tool corner cut, slowing down a hefty bunch. Huge gap from West Side now. Not much of a fight to watch if corner cut did affect him. Now you're not only battling drivers, you're also battling the track. So you got to be very careful on this track. It is simple, but it is not very easy at the same time. So very unforgiving. That's probably the best way to put it. Into the chicane. Pretty solid entry and exit too. It's practically textbook. Let's check up on Fortune once again. 25 second. He's catching 25 seconds to the rest of his class, catching up to LMP leader Corey. I guess he'll catch him coming into turn 1 of NASCAR, turn 1 to turn 2. Especially this exit will make a lot of catching up is that Rexy once again. Fortune and Rexy becoming really defensive. Bit of contact there with Rexy into the entry of the chicane. Of course, a little bit affected by that. That pass on the LMP will come a little bit later then. Let's check up on West Side. Let's see if he West Side trying to pass Napa Boy here. Agent getting closer and closer to Napa Boy, it seems. I did see him earlier exiting the pits, but I guess he is inching closer and closer, so that's good to see. Back to the green flag, not much lapping. Oh no, we're back. You'll probably see the blue flag more than you do the green during this race. Unfortunate to the the race directors and staff that have to keep on clicking that button every time they see a car getting past. Pro Tool going on top, flipping the lights. That's good to see. What a beautiful skybox going up. I wish I had an in-game clock that could tell me the time live. That would be pretty fun. So I could really describe to you if it was nighttime. If it was becoming nighttime or daytime. Agent entering turn 1 here, off to turn 2. Let's see how he takes the international horseshoe. That rhymed, by the way, I'd like to mention. Okay, not bad, a little bit wide. Black catching up to him, with Grez not too far back. Those two are fighting. Oh, Black and Agent, huge amounts of contact. Agent still on his side, running along. He might hit somebody. Oh, he's clear. How is Black from that contact? Black saved it. Agent practically slipped across the entire field. We didn't exactly get to see whose fault that really was. That might have been a race incident between Black and Agent there, having a little bit of contact on the pass. Unfortunate. Well, the only fortunate part about such a thing is that the field can bunch up together. Let's hope Grez and Black figure out who's in front and who's behind on this yellow flag, so there's no incident between these two coming. If we have a safety lap, pace lap, I mean, Grez will stay in front. But it is unfortunate to see that Agent had such a huge slip, because that's really impacting on tires, and especially the fact that he pitted he pitted not too long ago, realistically, and that might have done a huge deal on his tires, scraping along the bottom like that, across the field, and then going across into like turn 6. Huge impact for him. I still think he remains in front of Heg, but at the same time, that is still very race impacting for Agent, and well, I guess we'll see how this turns out later in the race, because a lot of incidents in racing, they can impact you early, and then it's a very long duration until it might come back to you. So, you know. I remember this one time I was racing and had a broken suspension, and it was a 4-hour race, and I handed it off to my friend, and it just broke. So there might be, now realistically you can't really see that here, but still the tire strategy can get massively messed up by such a move like that. Field bunching up once again, just waiting on Agent, Heg, and maybe Jada, or is Jada already united with the field? We might see a pass around, depending if race directory feels like it. No, Jada's still stuck between that field. If you're unfamiliar with the term pass around, or there might be a different term for IMSA, but I'm aware it's similar. Race directory basically allows lapped cars to go pass around and unlap themselves, and then they can catch back up with their respective class and the pacing field. So this field is quite split up, so I guess we'll see. The incident wasn't super duper race impacting. It sure might be race impacting for Agent, but for the rest of the grid, I don't really know. I think we see an LMP with no lights there. I wonder if anything's going to happen to them. I don't think that's Pro Tool, that's someone else. No, their lights are back on. Okay, they're good. Although we really didn't want to see a penalty because the lights were off. See the final cars coming around the chicane back there. I think that's basically it other than those two cars. I would assume we see a restart, maybe off the dog leg, because I've seen so far these cautions, they like to keep the field pretty bunched together, and they pace for maybe a quarter or two of a basic lap, and then they restart. So, and a restart zone, you got to choose it very carefully, because realistically, you do not want to have a restart into the chicane. You guys remember how I was mentioning before, it can be very, very bad if you have a bunch of cars there, and then they'll just bunch up, and then, you know, everything just gets messed up, basically. Everybody entering the pits. Wow. We might see some change in leading here, then. And this is everybody. I guess everybody saw a similar window open. And everybody taking this opportunity to, well, use that window. And this is how most real teams do it. They work off yellow flags, and they always expect a caution to happen. And they're not wrong for doing that. It's just that you got to execute it right, realistically. Because if you play off yellows your entire time, there's an opportunity where there's so many to the point where you don't want to pit every time, and you're just wasting resources, or you're just wasting time. Because you still lose positions into yellow flags. Pro Tool practically shoving Chesko there to get the first one out. Chesko now the leader of everybody exiting at the same time. That's I don't know, that looks so funny to see everybody just having the exact same pit stop. Chesko now leads. Grez just up behind Black. Fortune went from first to last. Pro Tool leading his pack. Dale just up behind. Westside in third. Corey in fourth, previous leader. Rollman, a little bit of a controversy with his cutting and his speeding. He is in last, first class. Blake leading once again, I believe, from earlier. Agent just up behind. Napa in third. The Bloxy and Hegg still in the same position they were before, and Jada last once again. A little silly to see an LMP leading the field here. Oh, it looks like Fortune might be actually a bit more ahead than we thought. Depending if a race incident happened, I guess we'll see when we cross the line. Jada really pushing into that inside. Oh, I think we're seeing the pass around here. I guess when we come into the oval, we'll see some cars being let past to unlock themselves, and we'll probably see with that we'll probably see the classes reform, meaning you won't see an LMP, then a GTD, and then a GTP. Failure to listen to race control. Who is that? Is that Pro Tool, or was that one of the GTDs that got let by? Was that Rexy, perhaps? I'm a little... The name difference is not very helpful. But yeah, we can see the classes kind of getting reformed here. Depending on what race control thinks, it might get split up a little bit more. Let's catch up with Fortune. Fortune right behind Chesko, I believe. That's who it is. Grez and Black right up behind. Classes are getting a little reformed. Just gotta wait for those GTDs and LMPs to figure out what's happening. Fortune with a little bit of a cut there. Cars also gotta be a bit more wary coming into cautions, because the cars, yes, are slower. So first of all, you're worrying about the guy in front of you, the guy behind you, and you're going so slow to the point where the car might seem a little more easier to turn. So you might see some slip ups here, like we just saw with Fortune cutting a bit into the chicane there. So it's a huge difference, because remember, you're expecting to drive for 2 hours straight on this high speed, and then you're going into that one chicane so fast regularly, and then you're just having a huge change where you're going to have to pace through it for a lap or two. I think we might see a restart here, unless the cars don't go side by side. Yeah, as you can see, I was right. Yep, the fields are reforming. think we're waiting for the pass around car. I think it is just a single car, the Porsche. Let's check back up on Jada. Let's see how far. Not too far back. Guess we're just waiting for Jada to catch back up to the field, and we'll be going right back to racing. 108 minutes. That is... We're officially at 1.8 hours, so 1 hour and 48 minutes. We're officially under the 2-hour mark. That's pretty awesome. Props to the drivers for holding up so far. I haven't been getting tired of clicking their keyboard or controller or whatever they might use. I've never really done any Roblox endurance events myself. I've only done actual endurance events. Well, not to say that this isn't actual, but in terms of sim racing, I've only really done it with a wheel. So, who knows? Maybe it's easy, maybe it's really hard. Won't know until I really get into a Roblox car myself. See the huge pack of lights there. What a beautiful sight to see. Jada in the Rec C, number 80, catching right back up. Almost re-emerged. Into the international horseshoe we go. We'll probably see a catch-up around exit of the dogleg. Alright, I think we're about to restart here. Sorry Jada, but I'm gonna have to set my eyes on Chesko, as we might see a lot of aggressive fighting in the GTP class here. I think the ideal restart spot might be as soon as everybody's on this oval, or as soon as we're right off of the chicane. But at that point, you might as well just wait until you're on the actual NASCAR Daytona restart zone, which is probably the most ideal spot. If you guys were watching the stands, I would say take photos right now with free cam, but you know there's not many of you. I don't know how many people are watching, but you know, if you are, huge photo opportunity here. Beautiful nighttime scenery with all these lights and beautiful sports cars with those sleek hypers and those built LMPs and those wide GTDs. Get some swerving ready. I think we're about to get ready to go racing off the chicane. Now, if I was here in this restart right now, I'd be so scared. It would be like it would be on level of like Monza turn 1 in my opinion. Everybody having a pretty safe entrance to the chicane. I guess we'll wait until the field straightens out and then we'll be racing once again. Black a little bit of sticking right up to Grez, practically hooked on him, getting ready to just pounce. I think we'll see a huge drafting train, and then alright, we're green to go. Let's go racing once again. Grez going a bit down the bottom. Black looking for that opportunity to pass. Chesko's maintain that lead. Let's see if Fortune can use those lap times to advantage. Black not able to pass just yet. Let's see if an opportunity opens soon. He goes high. That draft is working. No, he's going to cut back down low, but no, he's going high again. I think he might go for a switchback coming to turn 1. No, he's way too far ahead. He's past Grez, but no, he goes a bit wide. No, he's back in. Black makes it through for P3. I think an incident just happened with Grez because all the LMPs just passed, including Corey. I didn't see Grez really appear from that. Where is Grez? Let's check on the field. Grez DNF. I think he crashed just driving through that. Kind of just teleported away, but okay. Corey with a strong lead here from the rest of the field. Let's check up on the west side. Really fighting for second there. Dale and Lowman surrounding him, using that draft on Lowman. Coming out of the dog leg. Can he pass through this turn? No, he can't. Into the inside he goes, drafting off Lowman. He's going to get a pass maybe here in the oval. Dale making a mistake there. Pro Tool might see a better opportunity than Westside on low man. Check on Pro Tool. Pro Tool right up behind him. We see a forcing driver off track. That might be a GTD incident. It's the chicane. A little bit more inside-y. Yeah, because when you go like that, you get a way more wide exit into that chicane. Bit of a mistake. Dale, though, lots of speed. He might have had a really beautiful entry and exit into the chicane there. Practically just got a massive slingshot to pass. Only 3 GTPs left. Practically, you're kind of just set if you're in GTP now. You kind of have a guaranteed podium as long as you hold together for the next 100 minutes. Let's check up on our GTDs. Haven't checked up on them in a second. Blake right at the back. Catch up on Agent. Jada just up ahead. I think Jada's still left. No, Jada is still... No, Jada's actually in the field now. Not lapped at all. Jada going really wide. Hitting the wall. Agent a little bit of contact there. Blake using an opportunity to now make a pass coming into turn 2. Blake's going to use that draft now. Off of Jada. Tapping Jada. Making the pass. Including Agent going 3 wide off the horseshoe there. Kind of a rare scene to see. I never really see going 3 wide off of that. Let's check up on Napa Boy. Napa Boy fighting Heg for the lead right now. Heg not too far behind. If he just maintains the speed, he should be just fine. Let's check up on an onboard with him. Really good entry there by Heg. That's more of an ideal, except Napa Boy had a bit more of a launching set off that curb there. He might be set for that gap. Unless Heg can figure something out. Realistically, in this scenario, you just want to use the chicane to your advantage if you can't catch the draft. It just matters on who can take the chicane better, because we saw with those 2 LMPs earlier, practically a slingshot maneuver, and got past arguably 2 cars. Got out of a battle and passed another one. Grez's DNF goes down the order as cars slowly pass the start-finish. Let's check back up on Jada and the rest of the cars in the back. Jada keeping up with Blake and Agent Hero blocks in, leading this more rear pack. Agent just in front. We might see a Jada pass on Blake. I would see it possible. Jada has had a little bit of trouble coming to turn 1 for these laps, but I guess we'll see. Jada, a little bit wide. Way better entry. Huge gain. Jada about to pass on turn 2. If Jada maintains that entry, Jada can maintain the lead. Jada practically stopping. If you guys remember from earlier, when I mentioned, like I said, that horseshoe, you're practically stopping the car, and you need to be very careful. And that's what we just saw. Jada entered the horseshoe a bit too slow and practically parked the car almost. Well, that's not to say how tough it is to take that turn successfully. You can be consistent anywhere, but remember, like I said, you're battling the track. You can be consistent, but you're still fighting, so don't give up and think everything will be easy from now on. Fortune in the lead. Black not too far behind, actually. Actually, way better now that you see it. Really keeping a good gap here. Not so bad at all. I believe Jada is system. That's why we kept on getting warnings earlier saying system. Because Jada is system. So I see Jada might be getting a bit more consistent in these laps, in these current laps, but we still see a bit of problem. throughout this race, and we've seen a bit of corner cuts and a bit of track issues, but overall, I would argue getting a bit better. Fortune really slipping away. Chesko kind of stealing that draft. Chesko really catching up now. I think we'll see a little bit of a battle really soon. Let's see it. Can Chesko maintain the slingshot? Gaining. Into the chain. Nothing. A bit more poor entry for Chesko. Not ideal at all. Yeah, that gap might grow now because of that, depending on how the next few turns are gonna go. Let's check up on our... Oh, Robloxian and Blake fighting with Agent just up ahead. This is a fight for P3, I believe. Agent and P3 right now. Blake and Robloxian fighting each other, so they have a chance of fighting Agent. Let's get an onboard with Robloxian here. Getting ahead of Blake. Blake having a bit of issues on those tight turns as we just saw. Not that great. Yeah, Blake has now fallen behind. I have a feeling that, oh, Blake might have just had a corner cut there. Really slow exit. I have a feeling that some of these cars battle, and as soon as I get to them, they just really spread apart. I wish they loved me more so I could watch these races. West Side and Pro Tool fighting for P3 as well. Not a bad fight at all. A little bit shaky coming to the International Horseshoe. They win track limits again. We saw that earlier. See, you just gotta... So many fundamentals come with endurance racing, and you really gotta be ready for just about really anything. Gotta fight. Let alone the track, the people with you. You gotta really have consistent laps. You gotta watch your tires, watch your fuel, and another thing, like I mentioned before, with that pit stop incident where cars were going a bit too fast into the entry, like that GTP and the the LMP, you might be fighting the track limits and incidents and penalties. So, you know, you gotta really watch out for that kind of stuff. Pro Tool gaining a little bit. Really large draft coming from West Side if this is being possible. A lot of gain. Oh yeah, that's where people keep on getting hit though. That exit of the chicane there, they get so slow because they take it way too wide, and it just kind of just messes up their entry there. The entire chicane, sorry, the entire chicane itself is built off the entry. So as long as you maintain that entry, you should be just fine. Let's check back up on our leader, Fortune. Pretty hefty lead here. Once again, I'm beginning to see Fortune may be our pacemaker here in the IMSA series. Really setting the lap times. Who knows? Maybe it might just be this track. But, you know, it's only round one. It's too early to tell who's going to be the best and who's going to be the worst, and if we'll see a consistency of winners or if we'll see a huge differential. But remember, this is endurance, so there will be a lot of difference. It's not that hard to mess someone's race up, let alone this is more online. So it can be easily messed up due to pure lag. In my eyes, that's practically just a DNF. You could just blame that as a crash, but realistically, it is a crash. I mean, it's the same word. You crash or you crash. Fortune running a little wide there, coming off turn 2 into the International Horseshoe. I love saying that because it rhymes. Heg just up ahead of Fortune. We've seen a little bit of contact with these two before, if you guys remember. Turn 3, the NASCAR turn. I believe it was him or a Bloxing that had a bit of contact with Fortune, which kind of angled him in a certain weird way, and then he fixed himself, but you know, it was a little weird. Napa Boy, leader of GTD, and the leader of GTP meeting together. You know, it really isn't that rare to see all three class leaders bunched up in the same little area. It's possible. You just got to give it time, but it's very, very possible. We just had two there, so that's already a step closer to a sight. Also, Grez, our first DNF. I think we had a single DNS, maybe. I might be wrong though. Or someone had a problem early in the race and had to leave. So unfortunate. That's what comes with online racing. Crashing. Thought Fortune was about to pit there for a second. I was about to say, what's happening? But to destroy that gap he's made to the rest of the field there. Last lap, his gap to Black was about 2 seconds, I think. It was 2 or 5, sorry. I don't really remember. Well, really weird entry there coming to turn 2. Now it's 6 seconds. Chesko and Black, though, still pretty close together. I would argue that Fortune is getting a little bit more uneasy with his lap times. Let's check up on Black and Chesko. Just lapped a GT. Oh, they're lapping Napa. You can see they're really not that far behind. If they play it right, one of them can make it through. I won't say both, but we could see an opportunity where a certain pit or a track incident occurs, and they had that opportunity. Now, the thing on relying with cautions is, let's say, you know, you're P2. Let's say we're Black in a situation. You're praying Fortune smacks a GTD, and, you know, we all get bunched up together again. In that scenario, and Fortune is A-OK, and he's just in third. When a caution comes, they're all bunched up together again, and like there might be a part where you all pit together again, like we saw before, the pit lane entry from race control, where everybody took that chance, and you might just pit at the same time, and depending on what box you choose and how fast your entry is into the pit lane, and make sure that everything's A-OK, you can see that same person passing you again, and not only that, if they just have good pace, they can catch right back up to you with that bunched up field. So it's just, there's a lot of factors people really need to look into. That's why endurance is so fun. We're officially about to reach the flat 90-minute mark. We're getting close. So that just means there's officially 1.5 hours left and 59 seconds. I'm surprised I've held up for so long. But you know, this is pretty fun to commentate on. I'm enjoying my time here. Corey catching to Robloxian and Blake fighting for P4. Corey with a very nice pass on the top here on both. No big problems here, that's solid. You know, if I was race control, I would just keep the blue flag the entire time. Like, unless I know every class is split up again, I would just keep the blue flag on the entire time. Now, this is why you shouldn't hire me as a race director. I just want you guys to know that. Robloxian going for a really good move here on Blake. Oh my. Really nice late night move right there. You expect not much fighting, but I guess that shows that you shouldn't expect too much of, you shouldn't expect anything really. You can expect a lot of fighting or just nothing at all, and Robloxian just showed us that there is still pretty aggressive fighting going on here. Before fatigue gets these guys, it will be the fighting that might take these two out. They're really aggressive. That's the bonus of GTD. Like I said, there is no damage, but at the same time, GTDs can get really physical. They're really sturdy, and they're not like flipping around everywhere. It's a really solid base, and it's really good for beginners as well, or people just really want to have fun. You're not really passing other classes. You're fighting together. You can be really up close. You can practically push people like away, and they won't die. Like, they won't spin out. They won't DNF, and they don't want to give you a penalty either. As long as you're not pit maneuvering them like full on, you're really fine, to be honest. Just got on board with Fortune here. Thank you all for tonight officially. Not that far ago, folks. We are back to the halftime show. I am your halftime show, sadly. I hope you guys do enjoy. I would sing you a song, but I'm not much of a musician myself. Yeah, overall nice fighting. Sorry if you guys have commented or anything. I don't have access, or I don't really see. But yeah, who knows if I had another commentator here, we'd be singing the Spanish Le Mans song, except we'd do it Daytona style. It would be a great experience. Let's see. Let's pick a random car. Let's see how this person's doing. Let's go West Side. How's West Side doing tonight? West Side passing Jada, not too far back. West Side is also being a little bit chased by Pro Tool, not too far back. You know, as long as you hold a good consistency here, you shouldn't have to worry about lap times, to be honest. Running really wide there. I don't know if that was an in-game corner cut penalty or not. Catching up to Robloxian now off of the dog leg. Fortune now has a 8-second gap. That is quite surprising to me. Quite surprising indeed. Alright, we see Westside finally making his pass on Robloxian. Now, no offense, but if the other drivers have seen what happened earlier, they may be a little bit wary of the Ferraris. Not to say they're bad drivers, but to say that incidents go a long way. And you might hear some things, and you might get a little worried as time goes on. Check up on the best livery, I would argue, Rexy. If you guys have a favorite livery that you've seen us field today, feel free to comment. I will check the very delayed chat on my phone. Personally, has to be Rexy for me. Maybe even Spike, I can argue. Chest going black. You can really see that speed difference. Just blasting right by Jada. Jada running pretty wide there, lying on the battle. Let's actually check up on that battle. Gotta love to see a GTP fight in the middle of the night. Chesko, black, keeping it quite close. Off the International Horseshoe. Diving practically into turn 14. Into the West Horseshoe we go. Now, if you guys want to be good at commentating, or like, I'm just commentating. Now, commentating takes a bit of knowledge. Now, I'm not saying if you don't watch the sport or if you haven't raced in it, you just can't do it at all. But realistically, a lot of sports commentators are based on people who have experience and just knowledge. Now, personally, me, I'm pretty forgetful myself. So, if you want to memorize a map, right, that you gotta commentate on, either get a photo or drive the track personally. Get used to these terms. I attended the testing for IMSA for this league, and I just have previous knowledge of how this track works. And once you get that, you just have a good combination. You can relate to other drivers or spectators, and you can just kind of give them like an insight, or maybe even teach them about the track almost. Chesko really building that lead there. Alright. A little bit of dirt cutting there. Fortune. 12 seconds ahead. You can see it's not like insane, but you know, it's a very noticeable gap. And as Chesko and Black fight for P2 and P3, technically speaking, Fortune kind of just gets away. That's what's bad about fighting. Realistically, racing's all about fighting, but you know, if you just focus all on a specific engagement, you kind of just lose pace from the person that you're realistically trying to get in front. You always want to be in lead. And Fortune is really taking advantage of this. And I don't think he has to worry for quite a bit if he knows those two in the back are fighting. Here we are. Passing 296 once again. Oh, diving into the pits. Fortune. Oh, Lil Man is also in the pits. Fortune making his second or third pit stop, I believe. Going for fuel and tires, I would guess. This opens a chance for Chesko just now to get by. Oh wait, I think Black is following. Yeah, Black is really taking example from Fortune. Oh, Corey Tracklin is wearing the 1. Previous leader and still leader, actually. Being a little cheeky with the track limits here. But yeah, I guess Black and Fortune, specifically Black, really wants to have that same plan as Fortune. Because realistically, if you're to follow another guy and then follow the leader, realistically, you don't want to follow the guy that's leading the race. So I don't blame him for doing any of that. But now we see Chesko all alone on his own pitting plan here. And that might affect him pretty costly. Or maybe he just had a really good pit earlier and he's not that far of the loop. Pitting takes a lot of time. Because you really got to know, like, okay, how many times am I going to pit? How many times do I need to pit? And how much time is there left in the race? So I know, how to time this correctly. Because you don't want to make your quote-unquote last pit stop and then you're on 1% and it's the final lap. And then, you just run out and, you're kind of just out of contention. Westside and Chesko having a bit of a tussle there coming into the chicane. Nice move by Westside to not allow any hitting. So good on him. I like to see that in the smaller classes. Sorry, not smaller, but, different classes. People finally getting used to this multi-class racing. Oh no, Chesko pitting after the leader and Black. See, this is what I was talking about. Now, I'm not going to spend the next 10 minutes trying to show you guys their pit plans. I wish I had an AI or something that most big racing series do, and they show you, like, powered by Lenovo, and it shows me exactly, how well timed this can be. But I'm not a supercomputer, so I don't really exactly have that. You can see Black all the way down there. I would assume Fortune is all the way near the front. Edwin getting quite a bit of violations here. Speeding violations, cutting violations, etc. Wonder how that's going to turn out. I think Edwin is Blake. So I'm not very good with the names here. Alright. Just gotta see if anything was happening in the GT field. Got 2 pitting. I think this is the pit window for most cars, because we did see them all pit at the same time, so it's not impossible to think you'd see a 1 to 3 lap differential for these cars pitting. Michael track limits. A lot of track limits popping up this late in the race. You'd expect it to be not so bad, but you know, that could always change. It is an endurance race. A lot of different things can happen that you don't really expect. And well, we're kind of seeing that. I mean, different leaders, different really everything. Let's check on Fortune. Fortune fighting Pro Tour, coming off of the dog leg into the oval. So Pro Tour doesn't do anything silly. 7Ps do have that similar build, but as you can see, not the similar speed. So it can result in some silly things happening. Now, if I was a team, this is the ideal time to start thinking, hey, a yellow flag or a really good pit option would be really awesome right now. And I'm not disagreeing with that. But, you know, hoping for that also is preying on somebody else's huge failure. And that's a little unfortunate and a little mean. So maybe don't do that. Into the chicane we go with Black. Can get past Agents. Corvette, a little bit of a wall tap there. Ooh. At least he's okay. Flickering his lights, passing on turn 3 of the NASCAR oval. Into turn 4 we go. I know I've said this 8 million times, but once again, gladly there's no damage. That 2. That's pro 2. I thought KRE was parked for a second. I was kind of worried. The pace, man that makes such pace and keeps such a good lead in its class should not be so damaged and just spun around like that. But you know, he's fine. Let's check up on West Side. Allegedly, no, West Side's actually behind. So Peterborough is wrong. KRE is in front. So I'll say props to KRE for keeping such an insane lead, even while pitting. The people pit with him, so it kind of maintains that lead. Now, it's not like it. If anything, pitting later on for other teams, depending on if they know their calculations right and the laps. I would argue, assuming that pitting later is worse in the situation, that they're not smart for pitting at the same time as him, because you know, you pit later, and let's assume in this situation it's bad, you get off pace and you might have a worse pit strategy, and then in the end scenario you don't have the same amount of resources and energy or fuel, and then you can't exactly perform the same. Really wide entry there into the chicane by KRE. Really good exit. If you guys forgot, like I said, a really good outside-ish entry, well, inside, outside, basically cutting that entire curve, but keeping it legal is a really good way to go about the chicane. And then your exit with that beautiful entry is just divine, because you have such a great overall exit on the chicane. See how our GTDs are doing. Heg, not too far. Blake just up behind. And trim the chicane. Here, like I said before, practically cutting that first curve is really ideal. Backstretch basically has no one right now. Everyone's basically on the top side of the track right now. Racing can get really weird like this, where you just don't have anybody on a huge chunk of the track. It's very interesting to see, because you just have like just peace and quiet, or one car might be alone the entire for a whole hour in a rare case. Okay, well that's really hard to do with hypers around you, but still. Napa Boy exiting the pits here. pretty late exit. Blake not too. I think Napa is still ahead. Yeah, I believe they're on the same lap. Yeah, so Blake is right up with him. I think Napa is in 4th then. Yeah, I think he's in 4th or 5th. Blake keeping up with him. Not too far behind. Napa with a weird wide entry. Exit the dog leg. Let's see the execution. Okay, not too bad. Blake here. Keeping up with Napa. Not too bad. Not too bad at all. Pretty smooth racing. Look at the gap that Blake can execute that chicane guard. We'll see really big gap. I think I also forgot to mention in multi-class racing, traffic could be your best friend because it makes your. This is more so for the faster classes, maybe, or actually realistically any class. Traffic can really keep something. Oh, I was right. Blake really keeping up there. Can Blake go for the pass on Napa, our previous GTD leader? Blake going for the high. He's going high. He's going high. They're going side by side. Side by side to the start finish. Can Blake maintain that lead? He's ahead. Coming into turn 1 with the leader of GTP up ahead. They have to make a space here. Still side by side coming to turn 1. That GTP trying to make the pass. It makes the pass successfully. Blake is still ahead just a little bit. Full ahead. Napa on his quarter panel. Coming into the horseshoe. Like I said before, the horseshoe is a really weird area and you got to execute that turn really well. Still on that quarter panel. Napa is catching up. Napa's going to take away this little lead he's got here. Really, really close fight. Blake is going to take that lead away once again. Both caught up to Robloxian, I'd like to mention. Robloxian sitting in P3. These guys might be fighting for P3 real soon, depending on how much they fight continuously. Napa catching that draft finally off Robloxian, but Blake catching that draft of Napa. They're going to be making a little bit of a train here if everybody maintains the same pace and keeps everything. Oh, DNF by an LMP. We've cut down to 4 LMPs now. I think oh, Pro Tool. Pro Tool's crashed. Well, technically speaking, he's crashed. Unfortunate. He was a pretty good contender. But I guess he's got Blake a really wide exit. Oh, Napa tapping the back of a Bloxy and making him fidget a little bit. He's got an onboard. Both of those GTDs ahead mess up the pace a little bit just for that little Tesla. So now we might see Blake here have an opportunity to get the lead spot. Really close, really close, really close. Blake gaining alongside that wall. If Napa doesn't push him in, he should be just fine. Lil Man arriving at the scene. Blake trying to keep that lead. Blake keeps it. Robloxian running really wide. Blake is officially going to have his first podium position here at IMSA, I would argue. Because, well, I apparently there's been an older IMSA. Nope, Napa trying to steal that away from him. He needs that P3 position. Oh, but we see GTPs catching up at the back. Touching Robloxian a little bit. Chesko and Black are going to make their move. You can see that gap being formed because they're both trying to let the GTPs pass. Napa being sent a little wide because the GTP there. Can Blake build off of that? I think he can. Chesko going to dive from inside here. Blake giving him a really safe amount of space there. That's not too shabby whatsoever. Blake trying to catch that after draft left by the the GTP, a pool of air left old pocket. I guess it wasn't LMP also doing the same, kind of giving Blake these open chances, but at the same time splitting him and Napa Boy here quite a bit. Good entry by Blake there. Good exit too. He's gaining. Always catches Napa on this one turn. Always goes side by side. You can see it. Napa maintaining. He's gonna go high. He's gonna go low. I know this is a lot of energy for me to be using at such a late stage of the race because it can change so much, but it's an exciting battle, I'll argue. Coming into turn one, side by side, Blake just up ahead, Napa Boy keeping that inside line. Blake through, nope. Napa pushes him off just by a slight bit. Blake not having that much room. Blake being pushed away just a little bit. Losing speed, into the horseshoe we go. Blake ahead, Napa going for the switchback. Successful switchback. Blake is behind. Apparently we have someone under review. I think it's Lil Man. Currently leading the LMP class next to KRE, our predominant leader for LMP. Oh my. Lil Man is being disqualified. I wonder when that's going to be effective. Here he is. I think it was over the corner cut him out. GTD finally getting past Pro Tool on the leaderboard. We'll catch up with Blake and Napa back in a minute. Robloxian is under review. I wonder for what? I wonder if he was still being a bit more fidgety with those faster classes, or if he was just cutting quite a few corners, trying to make an advantage to get that gap broken up, so he can get back up to his fellow drivers in GTD. Blake, oh, Napa Boy still leads. Let's check up on Blake once again. Oh, bit of a gap here. Really good entry by both cars, I'd like to say. Oh, they've caught to Heg. Previously, they were fighting for P4, then P3, now P2. This is what I meant by group fighting. Fighting in little duos like this can really boost you up the pack. I saw a warning there. I unfortunately did not really catch it. I think it was Robloxian avoidable, or it was somebody else with the ball. I guess it was something with a faster pass. What did I miss for Napa Boy to boost past Heg like that for P2? I looked away for 2 seconds to confirm a warning here, and we just watched this individual's blast by. Blake also catching up. What is going on with Heg? His performance is falling a little bit. KRE going for a really high pass here, making it 3 wide. Hopefully no one does anything funny. Passes safely. Going side by side with Heg for P3 right now. Ahead of Heg into the chicane. Really good entry by both cars. But the exit goes to Heg. Heg going side by side, coming to turn 3 NASCAR. Coming into turn 4. Heg will be ahead. But Blake is a really smart individual with the draft, as we've seen so far. He will find a way to boost right past. Let's get an onboard with him. most affected part, we'll see. Yeah, I see what I mean? Some cars don't know how to take it properly. So we had a little bit of contact between the two cars and practically pushing Heg right off. But at the same time, it's not a fault because Heg practically stopped on track and it was kind of unavoidable. Low man officially disqualified. His name is still in the position. Going for the GTDs. A little bit of a fight going on here between the two. Still close and combative. We officially almost have 1 hour left, everybody. 1 hour left. Still quite a long time. So that means there's three GTP, 3 LMP, and still the same amount of GTDs. I'd also like to mention Agent is pitting as the leader of GTD, temporary leader, as Nabagoy snatches the lead once again. We have seen him lead a few times before. Here he comes around. Napa Boy ahead. Pretty decent gap too, I would imagine. We see Blake in P2. Blake has made it farther up than before. Not too bad at all. Let's check up on Fortune. Let's get an onboard with him. Agent now finally exiting the pits as Fortune passes through. I think the GTDs will be passing Little Man in just 2 laps or so. See how the other classes are doing. Let's check up on Corey. All alone. No one really around him. No one really chasing him and not really chasing anybody himself. That's a interesting place to be. He's in this this surreal part of the track I mentioned before, where you won't be next to really anybody. As alone, and you're kind of just with your lap time. Wider turn. Not too bad at all though. GTD's finally passing Low Man. Low Man's name on the leaderboard. Into the western Berkshire. See Blake in P3 now. I think him and Hager are still fighting it out. Really close. Okay, really interesting entry, a little bit too wide. Number 4. up on... sorry. I hit my knee there. Let's check up on Napa Boy. Every leader alone. This is a very interesting moment of the race. Also, props to every GTD driver for not managing to get disqualified or having a DNF yet. That's a feat to mention. Looks like the sun is rising soon, guys. I would like to mention we are officially 58 minutes in. Sorry, 58 minutes left. We're not that far from the end. So everybody got to start really start planning out their the things here, like how they're going to go about this race. It looks like everybody's kind of getting bunched up once again. There hasn't been a yellow flag in a while, no cautions, no nothing. That's pretty good. Let's check back up on Fortune. I mean, personally, I wouldn't really argue if I was leading and somebody ahead of me or behind me. Not much to worry about. Some blue flags being thrown up, as expected. Fortune pitting. Really stubborn press into the pits just now. I think he was carrying a bit too much speed. Let's hope he didn't get a time penalty there for doing that. Oh, I think he got it. That means Black is going to come around. Oh, passing two cars on the top. That's Blake right there. Blake into P2 once again. Oh, we still see the same plan. He's really trying to keep up with Fortune, and he's pitting at the exact same times as he does. That means Chesko will be taking the lead for a lap, I would assume, because he pitted last time right after these two. Blake also into the pits. Oh, another violation. Let's check up on Chesko, the lone leader, the west portion. The 48th time. The 51st time. Also, we can see from here the lap difference. We saw Jada system before. Alongside of Watson, leading the leaders in the same lap. One of the LMPs is still a lap. Sorry, two LMPs are still a lap. I think they're actually splitting just a big gap. So it's gonna take some big time. Huge cut by Chesko. I wonder if anything's gonna happen to that one. Beautiful sunset, I'd like to mention. I was really out, but it looks very pretty fun. Gaining massively on Napa Boy here. Into the pits. See, I was right in the pits one lap after that. Maybe Chesko has got it all sorted out. Maybe Chesko will know the strategy. He will end up in P3 again, but he'll probably be battling in Black.
check up on Corey. Pretty far gap, I would say. Any GTDs fighting still? Let's see. Napa all alone into the West Horseshoe. Oh no, sorry. That is the International Horseshoe. Haig. I would say Haig might be. Haig is fighting Agent for P2. Wide cut there. Haig practically stopping on track. Agent now building a gap because of that. Jada still alone. Gonna fall back. Well, that's not a problem. It's relaxing back here. Wouldn't be a bad finish at all. P6. Let's check up on our block scene. Had a bit of a few incidents earlier about avoidable contact. just keeping it chill. Coming to turn forward of the NASCAR oval. Approaching the start finish line for the 49th time, I believe. Sorry, 47th time. Blasting by. Check up on Egg once again. Let's see, caught up. No, that gap actually grew a pretty hefty amount. Quite surprising. Egg going through that chicane. Taking it nice and easy, not trying to overdo it. Bit of a cut there. Nothing too horrible. Oh yeah, we're in this stage of the race where everybody's kind of split up once again. So, Jada pitting. Will Haig be pitting also? I haven't seen Haig pit in a good minute. No, he will be staying out. Oh no, I was right. He is pitting. Surprising. So Haig into the pits, meaning Blake will be boosted back up to P3. Hyder blowing by there. Dale having a bit of contact. Oh my, pretty huge group here. Got a GTP, 2 LMPs, and a GTD. A very interesting crowd to be dealing with. Has Dale got ahead of Corey? Are they on the same lap? No, Dale is behind actually. Corey into the pits. Let's see how long that lead leaves him. Chesko actually, I think he's ahead of Black here. As far as I'm aware. Yeah, he is ahead. I guess that pitting plan kind of worked. And I was right. They did fight maybe a little bit. He got right by. Blake still up here. Dale. Blake trying to hold on to that P3 position in this class. Still 30 seconds. 30-second gap for Chesko and Black from their leader. Fortune all the way up front in the Mercedes Hyper Project. Let's check up on Jada. So I'm pretty sure his name is J-Dub-S, like J. I'm just thinking about saying Jada because I feel like it. Fortune passing Corey here. Corey finally out the pits too. That was a pretty long pit time. Fortune will be dealing with very light traffic up ahead, but that's not to say it's non-existent. So gotta be a little bit wary. Misstepped that word twice tonight. The moon is going down and the sun rises up on that beautiful beachfront we see, making a very nice sky and beautiful mix of just dark enough to use your headlights, but a nice enough sky where it is very clear and visible. Napa Boy being passed by Fortune just now. Napa still leads his class. Pretty solid. Him and Corey are pretty consistent with their leads. Except Corey has fallen down a bit. Dale pitting. Let's check up on Corey and see where he is right now. I think Corey might be able to get the lead right back. Oh no, I think Corey's a bit too far. Actually, no, Corey's fighting Westside. Where is Westside? Westside is pitting. Oh. Corey timed that just perfectly. Exiting the chicane beautifully. 49 minutes to go. Up into NASCAR turn 3. Following Napa Boy. Both a beautiful yellow livery. Napa Boy into the pits. I thought he pitted just recently, but I guess there was a problem. Corey going right around, and he will be taking that LMP lead, except it will be quite close. Dale exiting just now. Actually, it will not be close because Corey can maintain that lead with Westside not even out of the pits yet. Dale now exiting. Not a huge change, as I believe he is a lap down. Corey just chilling up front. Napa Boy still in the pits. Agent being chased by Chesko coming into the International Horseshoe. Deep dive by Chesko. Chesko makes it through, no problems. Agent ran a little wide there, but that was off his own line. We have Black catching up as well. You can see that distance between him and Chesko is really not that big. It's pretty usable, if anything, if you just find the right moment or the right traffic to time it with. Black diving down the inside after the Western Horseshoe on the exit of the dogleg. System DNF. I believe that is Jada, or Jada Man. Yep, Rexy is officially out of the race. Unfortunate. I was rooting for the back marker, but no. Endurance racing isn't really fair. Like I mentioned before, endurance racing can have a lot of different turnouts, and this goes to show that it is very possible. We've lost that consistency with GTDs of being, they don't crash, but we have officially lost a player. So now we are down to 5 GTDs. Previously we were at 8, or we should have been up to 8. So pretty heavy fall for this. Agent entering the pits, only person in the pits, and the only person on the front stretch actually. But Blake could use this opportunity because Blake was keeping it really aggressive up the field, and he was fighting for P4, then P3, then P2. Now he's practically fighting for the lead, I'd argue. If he just keeps his speed up and he manages to catch Napa Boy, and they have a little bit of a fight later on. 45 minutes to go. That's practically like 3 to 4 pit stops, I would say. Unless I'm not much of a professional on knowing how this tech works with pit stops. But definitely more than 2 pit stops, I would say. The sun is finally rising on the track. The moon should finally be fully gone. You can see the sun slowly making its way up to shine over the track to greet these drivers at the 45th minute of this race. Not too far at all for this race to go. We have Fortune still leading, Corey in the lead again, and Agent is still leading, or am I wrong? I think it's just broken. I'm pretty sure it's Napa Boy and Blake. Unless Napa Boy put it. Who knows? All I know from what I last saw is that Blake was in P2, and according to the leaderboard right now, he's in P2. So let's check up on Westside. Let's see how he's doing. Westside all alone, coming into turn 2, I believe. No, turn 4. NASCAR turn 4. Westside will stay outside the pits, crossing that start finish to maintain that P2 position. Pretty decent gap from Corey, I'd argue. Nothing too close. Not very much in the picture. But yeah, nothing too bad. Sorry if my mic was getting a bit quiet there. I was very relaxed in my beautiful spinny office chair. Alright, so Westside, not too far back. I mean, he could fight, technically speaking, for the lead. It just takes a bit of time with the laps and all, and the pitting. Let's check up on Heg. We haven't checked up on Heg in a while. GTD field getting pretty close together. That's actually way better than I thought. I mean, I did mention at the start of the race, you will see towards the end closer build-ups of the cars. Here we see Blake actually leading. Blake is officially leading his class. Starting pretty far back, and he's made it so far up. Congratulations from fighting for P4, then P3, then P2, then P1. Really nice race story there to say. Napa and Haig just behind him, not too far back. Agent, that pit really set him back. However, this might be a strategy he might have planned for, and we might see a big difference. Napa Boy going for the pass here, coming to turn 2. Let's get it on board. That is not the onboard. Here's the onboard. We'll go for the inside part. That might be good for the entry. Really big boost from the draft there into the chicane. Pretty good lead coming off of it. Well done by Napa Boy. Really good take into the chicane there. Let's check up on our GTPs. Let's see if Black and Chesko are even closer than before. Let's see if they'll fight soon. Oh, Black, huge cut. Really bad exit there. I think he carried a bit too much speed, or he just forgot his braking point. Chesko is quite far up. Napa Boy is now in P2. Let's just talk about the current order. We have Fortune leading, Chesko just up behind, Black, and it's Cadillac, that ride. Not too far back in the P3. Fortune's Mercedes is doing really well. Really good planning too. Really wide turn here by Black. Chesko though, 30-second gap away. Really built, I'd argue, from the Mercedes, because Chesko and Black have been fighting a lot, actually. And that caused the Mercedes to just boost away. Managed the tires really nicely. Black, now quite a bit of ways from Chesko. He's been following Fortune's pit plan, but it's not very well resulted, as you can see. He's in P3. He's the farthest back. We go on to Corey. Corey passing Agent here off the dogleg. Corey has maintained a really good lead. I think he's been, other than Fortune, the most consistent leader. I would say Corey and Fortune have to be the most consistent leaders. Always getting that lead back no matter what. Westside has been a little bit distant from the lead. Dale, I believe, might be a lap down. Really nice entry there and pass by Black on that LMP into the chicane. going for a little 3 wide here on the turn 3 of the NASCAR oval. Bit of traffic finally piling up. We go on to the GTDs. Blake, good race story, like I mentioned before, crawled his way up the order by fighting, and good results. Napa Boy, Napa Boy actually leads apparently. Napa Boy has also been a pretty consistent leader. I would say Napa Boy has been more of the leader of GTD than Blake. Blake has been fighting pretty heavily for it though. Heg and Robloxian, they've been a bit fidgety with their cars, on faster cars, but they have definitely gotten better. You can see them at the back there, both paired up. Agent has not been bad at all. A little bit of contact there between the Orica and the Corvette there. We had nothing too bad. We've had 4 DNFs, a GTD, an LMP, another LMP, and a GTP. So overall, I would say this race has been pretty fun so far. I got pretty much 30 minutes left. No one has done anything really dumb. No one has gotten a huge penalty yet. No cautions actually, ever since getting into the night. Like, actually not that bad. Yeah, pretty good. Green flag all the way, you know, a few blues of course. Everyone has been pretty respectful of each other. No horrible incidents. That's the best part, I would say. And yeah, everybody's pretty, they're not really far apart, but you know, a little distant, just quite a few gaps, as you can see, 30 seconds from Fortune. You could say Fortune will win this. At the same time, you could say that could be really easily lost. Don't forget, this is endurance racing. A lot can happen. So, don't count on anything yet, my amazing spectators. But we will see very soon. We still got 37 minutes left of racing. So, let's see what pit strategies people come up with. How they go about battling, how grouped up the cars can get, and let's hope there's no more incidents. Let's go on to Blake. Saw he was fighting someone. Oh no, there's actually a better fight, a bit down between Agent and Heg back there. Let's see it being followed by Dale, I think. Yeah, it's Dale. Agent just up behind, going for the move on the West Horseshoe here. Heg running really wide, Agent just through. Heg is going to be following him through that. Dale watching this fight from the back, waiting for an opportunity so he can pass without interfering with this fight. Between the 01 and the 296, I would say the 296 might have a better opportunity on the turns, but the Corvette itself might have better straight line speed. But Heg getting a good draft here, pretty wide draft too. Here comes Dale. Let's hope he makes this pass really safely. There he is on the left, into the inside, right in front of Heg. Tries to safely make the inside of Agent, not very successful. Slows down. I think he got a corner cut because of that. Dale still flickering his lights to ensure the GTDs know he's still there. I think he might go for a high pass here to let the GTDs draft off one another so he doesn't interfere with anything. To the start-finish line we go. No one in the pits. Oh no, sorry. Chesko and Fortune in the pits at the same time. I did not see that. And both out relatively at the same time. I think Chesko was going for more of that choose the closest box to Fortune. I don't think Black did that very much. He just picked his own. But Chesko's really trying to stick with That's Fortune there. Pink track limits. That is Heg. Heg has been like corner cutting a little bit. Oh, really wide radius there from Chesko. Really big outside turn. Flickering his lights, some ensure the GTDs now. Safe pass on the inside to Heg, a little bit wide. Taking that draft off Chesko. He wasn't able to catch it quite. Chesko making the pass on Agent. Safe passes. Respectable. Catching through a block scene. And Blake here. And Dale. Passing in a pretty big back here also. Passing to the top. Side by side with Blake. Speeding it through, catching up to Dale on that right side. Up to Napa. Beautiful entry to the screen. Beautiful exit as well. Playing a lot of speed on the top side. Passing Napa. Really good. Oh, Black has taken the lead from Fortune. 30-second gap from Black. Did Fortune mess something up? Or is that just a pit strategy that made the difference? Either way, Black is now leading the GTPs. Really wide, not very wide, a little wide on that exit there. Coming to the NASCAR turn 1. Into NASCAR turn 2. Onto the back stretch we go. Now, can Black defend this position and hold it and have a good pit strategy, or do consistent lap times to maintain this lead? A little cut there off the chicane. I would say it's possible, but you really need to build up that lap time. Because we've seen Black, he's not a bad driver. It just takes a little bit of time because he's been pretty at the back so far for his class, but seeing him so up front, it's a pretty big change. Let's see if he grew that gap at all from Fortune. Reminder, it was a 30-second gap from Fortune. Let's see if Fortune was able to close that. Still waiting. Oh, Black wide into the grass there. That's not going to be very helpful to build that time gap he wants. Fortune still yet 25 seconds. Oh, Fortune is gaining. And gaining pretty decently. How about Chesko? How far back is he? Before it was a 30-second and then a 45. So let's see. Is he at least close by? This is going to prove if Fortune just has... Oh my. In other words, I'd like to say this practically just proves Fortune just has really good, pure, raw pace. He's closed that from a 30 to a 25, while Chesko remains at a 45. It's a pretty big gap. We'll get back to our overall race and GTP leader in a second. Let's check up on Corey. Nothing going on much with Corey. Check on Napa. Not much happening with Napa. He does maintain that decent lead from the rest of the GTP class. You can still see them just back there. Running a little wide there, I think. Dale running wide on the International Horseshoe. Let's check on Heg. Let's see how Heg is battling no one. Check on Blake. Blake is in the pits. Blake has fell down from P2 to P4. Let's see where Fortune is, and let's check on Black. Fortune is exiting turn 4 of the NASCAR Oval. Oh yeah, that gap is breaking down really fast. I'll assume it's gonna be a 15 or 18-second gap coming across the line. 15, yeah, you can see. That's what I mean. Fortune has really good raw pace in these GTPs, and we've learned that throughout this race. And I wonder if the same will go for the rest of the season, because he just seems like an overall pretty solid driver overall. Let's get an onboard. I guess we'll see how it is coming across the line. Let's check up on Black. Where is he located right now? Turns 2. He's on turn 2 of the NASCAR Oval on the backstretch. And Fortune is now exiting turn 2 as well. Alright, I would assume coming across the line then it's going to be around like a 12-second gap or something like that, depending on how well he just took that chicane. Let's see how he takes the chicane. I've said this before, and I'll say it again. That's a textbook entry right there. I like to say we are under 30 minutes officially. 28 minutes left in the race. That right there is what you want. Oh, Black is pitting. Fortune will stay out. Regardless, I would say he was going to catch him either way in the next 2 laps or so. Fortune finally taking the lead back. Chesko should be a 30-second gap or so, I would say. He has closed it pretty well. 30 to 26 seconds would be his gap right now from 26. Yeah, that's right. From his fellow drivers. Let's check up on LMP. Nothing off KRE. Chesko is right behind him though. West side is passing with Roxy on the high side, coming to turn 2. We'll see what's Dale up to. Where is Dale? Dale exiting turn 3 into 4. Still, most of the LMPs have been mostly on their own so far throughout this race. Let's check up on Napa Boy. Oh, you can see there's still some drivers following him. And by drivers, I mean his own class. You'd expect it would have been other people. Yes, there is an LMP. But there's other drivers still kind of keeping up. You can see Agent all the way back there, P2. He's not all the way that back. Not bad at all. Not many fights going on, though. Other than that. Let's see if Black and Chesko are fighting anytime soon. No, they're actually pretty far apart, to be honest. Decent exit there. We're about to reach the 25-minute mark. We're officially overall 67 laps into this race. That's very funny. Apparently your blocks in did something. That might have been an old message though. Entering 25 minutes. Let's check up on our boy Blake. Into the international horseshoe we go. No one around him, he's alone. Later in the race, it's not very a great sight to see because you're trying to really catch up and there's not that much time to use. So you really either want to start pushing or accept your fate, honestly, or just hope that something really bad happens to the leaders. Other than that, yeah. Let's check up on Napa. Who is behind Napa? That is a LMP, I think. Oh no, that is the GTP of Fortune. Swinging around, throwing his car into turn 2. Into the international horseshoe we go. That rhymed for the 3rd time. That also rhymed. Napa just up behind. Trying to carry off that speed he might have caught. Someone behind him. My bad. Alright. Still, not much going on. 24 minutes remaining. Napa, still in lead. Fortune, still in lead. KRE, still in lead. We're practically with the people we started with, I think. Let me verify that with the starting order. Because I believe it was these individuals. Actually, no, sorry. I was very wrong. It was Blake who maintained that pole position, but he actually has fallen down. It's Napa Boy who is second. So Napa Boy is kind of just crawling up, keeping that lead over Blake's fallen position. Overall, not too bad. Not too bad at all. Realistically, the most major changes we've seen is, well, GTD, to be honest. Other two classes have been pretty more or less the same, except Black. He was last in his class, but, well, realistically, he is still last, but podium is better than being, like, you know, lower than that. For LMP, Dale was last in his class, and, well, yet again, he still is. But that's not something to argue about, because that's P3 right there. Speeding violation for Peg. I keep on forgetting, I'm sorry, I'm not very used to the two different names. I see the big monkey in our glorious IMSA chat giving us a greeting from Race Control. Hello from the commentating box. I hope your job has been very fun as of late. A lot of blue flags, a lot of watching as well. 2 hours of just looking at cars, looking for issues and problems. I would get tired real fast. But I can assure you, people are not really tired of all these racers, except Napa Boy, a little bit fidgety there. Poor exit. Let's hope these drivers keep up with the consistency. Yeah. Let's check back up on our overall race leader once again, Fortune. Into the Western Horseshoe we go for the, I would say, the 69th time. There is a bit of drama in the field, I've heard, between two drivers that have DNF. Quite unfortunate, the events that played out, but you know, like I keep on saying, it's endurance racing. You got to be ready for anything. Anything can happen. Something can ruin your race, and it can be so simple. Someone slightly tapping your car, or even you just loading too many frames. Like it's quite the variety. Napa into the pits. If these other cars maintain, now I've said this before, I know I've been commentating on this for about like 2.4 hours, well, almost the full race, and I still don't know how long the pits take, and how long tires last, so and fuel. So I'm kind of in the dark here, and I can't exactly make productive statements. Sorry about that. Just got a food delivery. Man gotta eat, man gotta eat. Today we are supplied by Chick-fil-A. That is my official sponsor for the commentating box, if anybody's wondering. Fortune, what? Fortune in the wall? Fortune.
The race leader might have just... The race leader's crashed. Chesko might be able to... Oh, what a turn of events. After leading for almost 2 straight hours, a double DNF. Agent has also DNF'd. In the span of me getting my food, 2 people DNF. This is probably a bad sign. Please don't blame it on me, drivers. Oh my, that's insane. Chesko can now steal this victory if Black doesn't give him any fighting chances. Chesko has a shot of taking victory away. And there's a very large chance he will. 17 minutes remaining. Agent also DNFing. Very unfortunate. I'd assume a computer crash. However, this does open a chance for only 4 drivers. So that means only 3 of those 4 can sit on that podium. So I would say the final fight is for that. So this means the last 2 GTP cars. Oh, huge hit. And a huge cutoff by Chesko. Either it's the tires or it's the pressure of leading. Black in lead. I think I might have read this wrong. This leaderboard is quite confusing. I won't believe it until I see Chesko cross the line. Maybe it's Black who's leading. This might be the most insane race story of all time. Let's see it. Yeah, no, Black is leading. Black's the leader. Oh, I'm so sorry for that huge confusion. Black is leading the race. Black has gone from first to last. Him keeping up with Fortune's pits have played out really nicely. And now he's leading this race. It's actually flipped around. Black has the way more bigger shot of winning, not Chesko. Corey, however, Corey has maintained that insane lead. So I think Corey will be stealing the win for LMP. Only 16 minutes. I know I gotta keep on saying this, but never forget, it's endurance racing. Stuff can always happen. Stuff always changes. So don't think everything is consistent. Something can change very easily. And we've just seen that. Black leading this race. Let's go check up on how Black's doing. Black coming into turn 4. Not much fighting between any of the classes. It's at such a point where everybody's too dispersed. You really can't make a big difference in the order here. I think there might just be one final pit window. Just maybe. I'm not too sure, but I would not be insanely surprised. Because like I was saying before, I really don't know how long you can stay out for. But yeah, I would say unfortunate turn events. But however, like I was saying during, well, in-game midnight, you can only hope to either push or wait for someone ahead of you to just fail. And that's exactly what Black got. He got the failure that was the DNF of Fortune, so now he can just go all out and push. However, there's still a possible pit window strategy to worry about. So this is not over. This race is far from over. We don't know what can happen, but many things can. So stay tuned, and let's see what happens. Let's check up on LMP.
Corey passing Napa Boy. Napa Boy, very large lead still from the rest of his class. If he pits one more time, that lead will be utterly destroyed as soon as he crosses. I think Westside is almost a lap down, depending on how far back he is. Westside is still, he is actually close to getting lapped himself. Dale, however, is lapped. He is in fact a lapped LMP car. Exiting the dogleg here, decent exit, a little wide, but pretty decent. Into turn 1 we go. Ooh, wall tap there. Let's check up on Blake, previous pole sitter, fighting Robloxian. I believe Robloxian is a lapped GTD. Don't count on my word though, because you never know. We could actually just check right here. What am I saying? Robloxian 64. Blake 65. Yeah, he is a lap down. So Blake is kind of just fighting a lapped car right here. Hoping this lapped car though can help him boost up to Napa in the next 13 minutes. If there's no more pit options open, then he's kind of just gonna have to sit here in P2, which isn't a horrible spot, but realistically, you really want to be fighting for that win. You've been here for 2 hours, and everyone wants that win. I mean, obviously that's why you're racing. Here comes Black around. He's going to be meeting up with the GTD race leader in a very short moment. You can see him just up ahead there, the Corvette. Whoa, really wide maneuver by Robloxian there. Deep dive, big cut. Oh, forgot that barrier you could pass through. I got really scared for Blake there for a second. Black exiting turn 3. Into turn 4. Let's get an onboard. Flipping his lights. Really nice work. While we're watching onboard, I will quickly eat. And I'll be closely watching what happens. All right. That was not my way of taunting the drivers. I was just very hungry, and I wasn't trying to imply that they can't eat and I can. But listen, if you're hungry, you gotta eat. Black still leads the final 8 minutes. Chesko slowly building a stronger pace to catch up to Black here. We have seen, no offense, but Black has had a slower pace, and Chesko has been a little bit faster. However, we don't know that because this might have changed. He might have got a second wind and wants to go. He can just go faster now, but we won't see until we see Chesko closing that gap, because I believe it was 20 seconds before, and now it's 25 and 20, then 15. If he can do this, if he can manage to catch up to him in the next 7 minutes, this might be the closest finish we'll see in a very long time. I think Chesko had a bit of a problem coming off the chicane there. I think I saw it in the corner of my screen. Oh my! I think Chesko might be. It just depends what Chesko has left. No, Chesko also diving into the pits. If Black just hopped in one of those earlier boxes, unless there's a rule from race control saying that hypers have to be more far up. If you could pit anywhere, I think Black just messed up his whole thing, because he should have pitted just now in the earliest box he could and then left. But, well, exactly that's what he didn't do. Chesko having problems getting into the pit lane. Sorry, pit box. Black is going to take this lead, and he's just going to build off of it. This means Black, if he just keeps it up for 5 minutes, he will be the winner in the Daytona 2.4 hour. Chesko just exiting. That's well over a 12-second gap. Make that 14 now. Napa Boy and Dale just up behind. Let's check up on Corey. Corey and Heg. Ooh, Corey really wide exit there into the chicane. Let's see how our GTDs are doing, because I believe our LMPs are a bit too spread apart to be doing much. Let's see. Napa, we already saw, yeah, your Western Horseshoe. Chesko is just up behind, fighting to get up to Black. He will be fighting with anything he can. He will use any draft he can get, and any speed opportunity, and any traffic blockage to make sure Black doesn't get that far. Let's check him on Blake. Blake exiting the dog leg, no one really around him. If he doesn't pit, then this will be a consistent P2. Heg we saw earlier with the LMP. The Bloxy and a lap down, I think he's a guaranteed P4. As of right now, our closest battle is these two, Black and Chesko. And not only that, in other words, they're pretty far apart. And just so you know, this is considered our closest battle. Alright, let's see it. How far back is Chesko? I'm guessing a 12 to 16. Actually, let's put it in the middle. Let's do 15. 15 seconds. 12 seconds. Oh my, way more than I expected. Sorry, way less. 12-second gap. Can that be broken down in the span of 4 minutes? Is Chesko that fast? I guess we'll see. Can Chesko beat that? Let's get it onboard. For a GTP, not a bad entry and exit. International Horseshoe. Using Dale's draft. Using his speed up. Coming to the Western Horseshoe.
see how he takes it. Every turn for now on is super vital. Really good exit. Can he feed off Dale's draft? This is a really important turn as well. 2 to go, race control says. We're working off Black's lap times here. Chesko using that draft, getting around on the outside. Safely gets in front. Where's Black? Black just exits the chicane. This is looking a little rough. I don't think Chesko can make it up. I don't think he can close that gap in two laps. I don't think he can do it. Either he needs some godsend something to come his way, or he needs to be insanely fast, or he needs to just pray that Black makes some really bad turns here because of the pressure. Officially 2 to go. That means the 82nd lap. Yeah, Chesko's lost time. I think we're looking at a race winner here, boys. Ladies and gentlemen, I think Black will be taking it home. Unless a huge turn of events happens, Black may be our Daytona winner. Race control will let us know the final lap. I'm quite bad with numbers, so I'm assuming 82 is the last lap, but you never know. So that means 81, exiting 81 should be final lap announcement. Heg in the way of Black, passing through on the top, gets around safely, making sure the overall race leader does not have any incidents entering the final lap. Into the chicane. Beautiful entry, beautiful exit. Black has been really consistent now. Yeah, Chesko is not catching. Black, really high chances he'll win this. He just needs to make sure he doesn't mess it up. He needs to keep it all together. He needs to let go of all that pressure. He needs to just focus on his car. He needs to be one with the car. He just needs to do this final lap. Black into turn 1 for the final time. Reaching into turn 2. Coming to the international horseshoe for the final time. Up to turn 4. He throws it into turn 5, also known as the West Horseshoe. Safe turn, good pace. He exits safely. He moves it up to turn 6. He's going to exit the dogleg for the final time. Chesko, the same amount of pace back there. If you just saw him throwing that car all the way into that turn. Into turn 1, NASCAR oval. Come to turn 2, NASCAR oval. Black just needs to hold it together. GTD's finally passed Fortune's name on the title board there. Let's see how he takes it. Slowing down quite a lot. Huge cuts. He's exit. Black around turn 3 of the NASCAR oval, coming into turn 4 for the final time. Black is gonna reach the start-finish line after 2.4 hours of racing against 18 other drivers. Crosses the line and is victorious in Daytona. What a race. I never thought Black would climb all the way from the back, all the way to the front. What a story. KRE, P1 in LMP. Napa, P1 in GTD. Just insane. Results are Black, P1, GTP, Chesko, P2, GTP. LMP, we have Corey, P1. LMP for P2, we have Westside, P3, Dale. For GTD, Napa Boy, P1. Blake, P2. Heg, P3. Robloxian, P4. What a journey this has been, and what a great first event to commentate on. I've been so happy to commentate and watch and be here for this first event. You get to see how these drivers grow, their race stories, how they are throughout the season, and how their skills change, and it's just insane. It's just great. I'd like to also thank I'll just like to thank admins for giving me a chance to commentate on this great race. Here they come, across the line, Corey, P1 in this class. Just a great opportunity. Unfortunate that we had quite a few DNFs. Fortune, Agent, Jay, Lil Man, Tool, Pro Tool, and Grez. All really good opportunities to race. I hope they had fun racing as well. Unfortunate, some people didn't have the opportunity to race in this amazing event. But I'll say this much, more opportunities will open one day, and you will have your shot in a race as great as this. But I don't think anything will beat what we just saw. Let's get ready to rejoin race control. We could do some driver interviews if anybody's interested. And yeah. Let's go back to our overall race winner here. We're going to get some interviews hopefully paired up. I also hope with the race winners. I'd also like to thank all of you. Who knows, maybe you joined at the start of the race, or you joined at the end, or you joined midway through. Thank you for staying here. I know I wasn't very talkative to the chat, but don't really have good access to it. But thank you for listening to me for 2.4 hours. It's been very interesting. We're gonna see if we can run over the pit to the podium here. Hello? Hello? So, how are you? How do you feel right now?
I feel great.
Was that a
I
was
feel
that
like
a,
I just
that a tough 2.4 hours?
overcame a. Yeah, it was tough for me, overcoming that horrible car I had.
Oh my! It
I
was
don't
a
even know how I made the race.
very interesting story. Um, how would you explain like your pitting strategy? Because I know Fortune. Was it you that was sticking with him the entire time?
Uh, at the start it was, but then he kind of started breaking away from me, and so I kind of thought to myself, well, I should just go off strategy. And
Well,
so
you
on
guys.
that last one, I
Mhm.
tried running long to make it to the end, and it was gonna work until at the end I realized I did not have enough.
Well, you can see how that kind of worked. Honestly, it worked out. I mean, the uh, the opportunity you got and how different it was, and
Yeah, I'm just fortunate that
yeah.
others around me made the same mistakes I did.
Honestly, I think I feel like in that VC you were jumping for joy as soon as you saw Fortune. Unfortunately, um,
Yeah,
crashed.
overall a good day though.
I would definitely assume so. You were a very safe driver. You had the slower pace, but you really racked up the speed later on.
Dang.
Yeah, all I can say is congratulations, dude. That was just awesome to watch. Really good stuff. Anything you want to say to any people watching or the rest of the grid? Sorry. Anything you want to say to the rest of the grid or the people watching?
Yeah, I just want to say good race to everyone. I had a fun time, even though it had its ups and downs, and just you know, if you have a speeding penalty, just keep on trucking.
Oh yeah, this guy knows how to do it. Yeah, congratulations. Uh,
Thank you, thank you.
we also have GTD class winner Napa Boy fighting for the win, tussling back and forth with Blake, I believe. Napa, how was that? Oh wait, sorry. Give me 1 second. I actually forgot. Yeah, I have you guys muted. There you go. There you go.
Um, Honestly, I don't know what was going on. There was like a lot of time left, so I didn't know if who was gonna get the upper edge during the end of the race. But overall, we executed on our plan and we beat Blake by a decent margin.
Yeah, I saw you had a very interesting pitting plan, and it really worked out for you. Like you got really far ahead. Um, really good work. Fighting for the lead. You had a bit of a moment, I would say, towards the middle part of the race, I believe, when you were down around P4, but you made it right back up, and well, you got the victory with like a huge margin. So congratulations as well to you. Anything you want to say to any problems you want to voice? Anything?
Nah, I just want Blake to know that I tried to race him like aggressively without going over the edge. So yeah.
Well, congratulations. Any messages you want to give out to anything else in the field? Anybody else? Anything?
Nah, I'm good. I'm good.
All right. Thank you a lot. Congratulations on your win. How about the race director? You got anything to say? I know you've had to.
Hello.
Yeah, I know you had to stare at your screen for about like 2.4 hours. Very long.
Oh yeah, that was incredible. Well, so did you. You were
Yeah.
you were just by yourself. I was screaming blue flags for the past 2 hours and 40 minutes. We had really all the drivers had a lot of fun. Just sucks for the Fortune brothers. Little man got DSQ'd for hitting the DTP limit, and then Michael and Agent both had their internet go out. You probably saw that with
Oh
about
yeah,
20-ish minutes to
I
go.
was if you watch the
But
stream, I was actually eating, and then when I looked back at
oh,
my screen,
nice.
and I saw the Mercedes in the wall, and I was like, "What?" It was so shocking.
Yeah, no, but this probably has been one of my favorite races to direct. Like some of the races point out to me like most of the IndyCar races, especially the Texas one, even though that was long, it was fun. But this one, it's one of my favorites to do. I love endurance racing, but just 18 cars, like the biggest field in Bubble's history, like anything Bubble, 18 cars. Probably a few months ago when we started F1 24, I think that was last year,
Oh,
we had issues, couldn't even run 5 cars. And then a year later, running 18 cars
that's
with high mesh counts is just beyond absurd. But I just wanted to say thank you to all the drivers. But we hope to get more people in at our next race for Sebring, another 2-hour event. That's going to be another long one, and then we go to Long Beach.
oh yeah, that's gonna be
That's going
tight
to be a
racing.
really really fun one. Uh, Hopefully we have the GTDs and the GTPs battle it out on the streets. 10 GTDs on the streets with 8 GTPs. That is
Oh
going to
my.
be a really really chaotic race.
Are we gonna see any in-season challenges like those special GTD only races, the GTP only races?
Yes, there is a GTD only race. It is VIR.
Oh,
Um, so we're gonna see 17. We did have to move one GTD because we don't have delivery, but we are going to see 17 GTDs battle out at VIR,
oh my.
and we are thinking of doing a GTP only race or a GTP and LMP2 special event at Arlington, Texas,
Oh, that'd be
just for
awesome.
a fun little event. So that if we do that, that will be a fun one. But that is all what I have to say. Thank you for commentating with us
Yeah,
and streaming.
thank you for putting all the blue flags out and watching every
Yes,
car.
we were. Yes, system. He was for about 2 hours there. Like I was spectating him for the most part, and then whenever I'd see him, I would see that blue flags. I'm like, "Hey, system, blue flags." He's like, "Oh my god!" I'm like, "This is really fun." No, but all the drivers had really fun. It was a really fun event. I hope all the fans had fun.
I'm very excited for the next race. Can't wait to go to that one as well. Honestly, commentating alone wasn't that bad. Obviously, it'd be fun with another person, but that
Yes,
alone
you'll
was
have
not
Puff
really.
next week.
Puff next
That will be
week.
fun.
That'll be very
Yes,
interesting.
for Sebring. But that's gonna round it out for the 4.8 hours of Florida. The
Oh,
Jimmy Johnson hours of Florida.
the Jimmy
Woohoo.
Johnson
Jim
Florida
Jam.
hours. This is going to be a very interesting season. This will probably be my favorite season and favorite series I've ever had to deal with. To be very
Agreed.
sick. Other than that, yeah, thank you everybody or whoever was watching. We hope you enjoyed. We hope you're interested in this. Join the league. I'm pretty sure it's
Oh,
in
oh,
the. Hmm?
sorry to interrupt, but I gotta make one more announcement. Tryouts are still open, by the way. They are closing midweek next week. So if you enjoyed that, we still have a lot of spots open. LMP2 is full. Kind of. Little man isn't making any of the races, so I might kick him out. But there's a lot of GTD spots, and if you are fast enough to beat Bubble, you might be able to get in the GTP class.
Ooh.
Yes, very exciting, very exciting. But we are just overall excited to get back into the swing of it after everything that has happened. But you can continue with the outro. I just had to say that real quick.
All right, but yep. Thank you everybody. Thank you for watching the race in Daytona with us. Beautiful beachside race. Congratulations to each class winner. Very exciting. Lots of action, and we're not even done. We still got many things to do. So, thank you everybody, and have a nice night.